French election, Emmanuel Macron and Marine Le Pen to fight for presidency. Centrist Emmanuel Macron has gone through to the second round of the French election, where he will face far-right leader Marine Le Pen. Mr. Macron, a former banker, is seen as a political newcomer, and ran without the backing of an established party. After topping Sunday's vote, he is now favorite to win the runoff on 7th of May. It is the first time in 6 decades that neither of France's main left-wing or right-wing parties has had a candidate in the second round. How tight is the race? Mr. Macron won 23.8% of votes in the first round, while Ms. Le Pen took 21.5%. The turnout was high, at almost 79%. The nearest challengers, centre-right François Fillon and hard-left Jean-Luc Mélenchon, fell behind with just over 19% each. Live updates. A guide to the final candidates. Markets since relief after French vote. But several political rivals are now expected to unite behind Mr. Macron in the runoff vote, in a bid to keep Ms. Le Pen's Front National, FN, from power. What does Mr. Macron stand for? At 39, Mr. Macron could become the youngest president France has ever had, and the first president in the Fifth Republic who does not belong to a major party. Mr. Macron was current President François Hollande's economy minister but quit to create his own party, En Marche, which pushes a liberal, pro-EU agenda. His campaign promises include a €50 billion, £43 billion, $53 billion, public investment plan to cover job training, exit from coal and shift to renewable energy, infrastructure and modernization. Big cut in corporation tax and more leeway for companies to renegotiate 35-hour week. Cut in jobless rate to 7%, now 9.7%. Ban on mobile phone use in schools for under 15s and a €500 culture pass for 18-year-olds. In a victory speech to supporters, Mr. Macron borrowed language favored by his rival to describe himself as the patriotic choice for France. I hope that in a fortnight I will become your president. I want to become the president of all the people of France, the president of the patriots in the face of the threat from the nationalists, he said. What about Ms. Le Pen? Ms. Le Pen took over the FN leadership from her father in January 2011 and helped her party secure big gains in regional elections. Her party wants to slash immigration, clamp down on free trade, and overturn France's relationship with Europe. Her campaign has called for negotiation with Brussels on a new EU, followed by a referendum. Automatic expulsion of illegal immigrants and legal immigration cut to 10,000 per year following an immediate total moratorium. Extremist mosques closed and priority to French nationals in social housing. Retirement age fixed at 60 and 35-hour week assured. Following the first round results, Ms. Le Pen made an appeal to all patriots, saying a vote for her was the key to the survival of France. Wherever they come from, whatever their origin, whatever they voted for in the first round, I invite them all to join us and to abandon ancient quarrels and to concentrate on what is essential for our country, she said. Who is likely to win? Correspondents say the next head of state is almost certain to be Mr. Macron, as most other parties are now backing him. Benoît Hamon, the candidate of President Hollande's Socialist Party who failed to make an impact in the first round, urged those who voted for him to support Mr. Macron in the next stage. Mr. Fillon has done the same. However, Mr. Mélenchon has not endorsed either candidate yet. Mr. Macron may struggle to secure a majority in the National Assembly, as he does not have the backing of an established political party. This means he would have to negotiate to have his policies approved through Parliament, which could be challenging. What do the results mean for the EU? Analysts and world leaders have been watching the election closely, after the Brexit vote in the UK and election of US President Donald Trump challenged liberal values and the political establishment. Many European leaders are now congratulating Mr. Macron on the first round results, as they are keen to strengthen the union after Brexit. Mr. Macron addressed the nation in front of an EU flag as the results came in, something noticed by both pro and anti-EU politicians. What does French result mean for Brexit? German Chancellor Angela Merkel's spokesman, Stefan Seibert, tweeted, "It's good that Emmanuel Macron was successful with his course for a strong EU and social market economy. All the best for the next 2 weeks." European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker also congratulated him, as did EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini. "The result is the hope and future of our generation," she tweeted. Anti-EU politicians, on the other hand, have congratulated Ms Le Pen for making the second round. Dutch MP Geert Wilders, who leads the anti-immigration Freedom Party, said the results were a bright day for patriots in France and elsewhere who want more national sovereignty and less EU and immigration.